In object-oriented programming, it's helpful if your class knows less about other classes. And a way to pursue that is to follow the Law of Demeter. I use a regular expression in this live coding session to help me find those violations of the law. We also discuss how calling it a law might be overstating it. So it's not like hard and fast, but it's a good thing to pursue to help you find the better design. Also, you'll see how finding that better design is a tricky problem and can take discussion and an iteration to finally settle on what is the thing that you're trying to express. So follow along in this live coding session. It's time for more live coding with me. Welcome to the Quality Coding live stream. I'm John Reed. The usual blurb not for those folks who are already here and know who I am, but for the folks who are watching afterwards. Let's see, I wrote that. You can find me here. Whatever socials you use, hey, this is where to find me. I've got Mastodon, Blue Sky, my blog. Subscribe there so you get new articles when they come. YouTube, Twitch, and LinkedIn. Welcome, folks. Glad to see people here. We've got Mudshark and Eric and Garbob and Junaid up late. Hi, Junaid. Long time no see. Glad to have you. Everyone is here. Wonderful. Let's see. And this is now, I'm continuing to follow the pattern of doing shorter 1-hour sessions. So, and I am creating more, this is giving me an opportunity to create more crafted video content, which I'm starting to post on YouTube. As opposed to this, which is uncrafted and live and random. Let me hit the right button here. I almost disconnected us. Let's go with this one. What did we do last time? Last time we really focused on the move field refactoring, following Martin Fowler's steps in the book, and specifically the technique of self-encapsulate field as being an easier thing to do in Swift with computed properties, because a computed property is it's a hidden method call. It doesn't have parentheses at the call site. It looks like a variable. That means you can substitute a thing to move it around without changing all the call sites, which made it really nice. We learned that there's a way to revert multiple commits in one go, and we started on the Law of Demeter. And that, I think, is where we are continuing today. Right here. Let me put this into progress. The Law of Demeter. You might say Demeter. That seems like an Americanism. Demeter. I was looking it up. I was kind of curious what the history was. Why is it called that? Apparently, so named for the Demeter Project, which was something that this guy was working on, Ian Holland at Northeastern, in 1987. Each unit should have only limited knowledge about other units. That's the main idea. And it guides you to looser coupling. Only units closely related to the current unit. Each unit should only talk to its friends. Don't talk to strangers. Only talk to your immediate friends, so not friends of friends. This looks like a good... What's this? No! Oh, God, get out of here. Hey, Marcus. So basically, anytime you have something that gets another object, and this is a caution about getters, this also plays into the notion that getters and setters are not great, and something I think I want to get better at. If object A asks object B, get me object C, so that I can talk to it. And the giveaway is when you have multiple dots. Oh no, I don't want to go there. Multiple dots. So that seems like something. It occurred to me that a nice, easy way to do this would be with a regex, because I was having trouble. Last time, I was starting to go blind to the violations, and you guys were seeing, oh, look, here's a violation. By the way, some people can call it the suggestion of Demeter, because it's like, it's not strong enough to be a law. Sometimes you want to break it. But that's just because anything that's, maybe we overuse the word law. And in software engineering, it's engineering. You're always making trade-offs. So there are times when you want to play jazz and break the rules. But anyway, with a regular expression, I thought, can't I search for dot and then A to Z or A to Z, at least one or more, followed by another dot. Well, that turns up various things. They may or may not all be interesting, but let's add more. Like how many can we find? More. Oh, I've run out. Okay, let's here we go. So this, what do we got? That's a test hook. I'm less inclined to care about tests. I think it might be okay for tests to say, I'm going to poke around. It's still a weakness, maybe. It might still show a design weakness. What do you guys think? To have the Law of Demeter violation in test code. But for now, let's ignore them and keep going. Here we go. So ignoring tests. We may come back to them. Oh, look at this. Game, rounds, current guess is complete. Boom, boom, boom. The other, what's this called? A train wreck? It's like this is looks like a train with cars with little connectors between the cars. And it's like, how many cars can you string together and how big is your train wreck going to be? And this inhibits refactoring because it's like, it just knows too much. The game screen is asking for the game rounds current guess is complete. Yikes. How do we solve this? I mean, the quickest solution is to hide it. We take all this and we turn it into, is the game complete? Which it seems like a good thing to be able to ask the game, doesn't it? Hey game, are you done? Oh no, it's not the game is done. It's the rounds, it's the current guess is complete. Because it is whether or not to enable the check button. So this is I'd smack this in a view model of some kind with guess is complete or something like that. It's true we don't have a view model here. I don't know if I want one. I feel like I live in a world of view models. Do we put the query on rounds or on game? Rounds is the new thing. This is the new type we created. And the rounds should at least be able to say, is the latest guess complete? It at least needs to be able to do that. And maybe the game needs to hide that. We'll see. But let's start there. Right. So this is confusing. It's not the game is complete. It's the current guess. Eric says, seems like rounds are not needed for this context because only one game is possible at a time. And the game is essentially that is our model. It may not be a view model, but it is the model. And the game holds the rounds. Well, let's go. Let's take this much. And applesauce. So I'm essentially doing a move. Now, this is a round, so it doesn't need that. This becomes a bool. That leaves the question, what is this? I mean, current guess is complete. It does maybe suggest a different view model, the desire for a view model, possibly. But this is refactoring. We get to play around, we try things, we move stuff around. I don't know about this name, but it's better than applesauce. Now let's go back here. And I'll just sort of do that. And I predict this will be fine. There we go. What did we do? We guess is complete. And that dialog does the commit and the push. So what I like about this, and this is something that I am going over right now with somebody I'm mentoring in Berlin. I'm open to coaching one-on-one. Is that as soon as we create a new type, it becomes the logical home for more functionality. It becomes richer and more capable of doing stuff. There are things in here I don't like. Maybe we ought to clean this up. Like, why is this I guess, no, those need to be vars. Anyway, current guess is complete. How is that? It's still a violation. But it's better. That is an idea, Eric. Is there a... Oh, shoot. Yeah, I see. So you're thinking, let's try it and see. Why not? So on the game, let's try... I'll just put it here so that it's close. Thank you. Our current guess is complete. Manager, get out of here. Around, yeah. Oh, this was a current guess. Well, anyway, let's try this, because this should work. What did it look like before? Game, rounds, current guess is complete, awkward. It's like... Let's just try some different things, because this should also work. We're sort of dancing around the fact that we still have, like, we're multiple dots. Maybe like maybe the game so Mudshark, you're thinking a game round, a structure that has all the round specific methods to use while the game is in session. Oh, look at that. Yeah. Let's play. Excuse me. Let's play for a bit. I'm not locking down to a specific thing, but I'm still feeling like maybe instead of starting from the backwards and me declaring confidently, this belongs on round, I should have started it on game. Because if I can say to the game, what if... How about this? It's awkward. Maybe it should be, well, let's just try it. Because what I, moving little pieces around and trying not to disturb things as much, and I suddenly notice, what's this for? And this gets back to the view model question that Marcus raised. What would this be for? This would be, is the check button enabled or not? Interesting. It's filling in more than I want. But it's probably not wrong. Let's see what this was. Current guess is complete. Right, so this should work. Yeah. And of course I don't like the not. I feel like this should be disable. Whoops, I missed the refactoring declaration on that. Let's change this to disable. As far as I know, we have only the one caller. So let me do it like this. Moving in small steps. Hello, other folks who have joined. Welcome. We are working in SwiftUI with tests, and we're refactoring. And you notice if you do any SwiftUI, I don't have the preview up because I don't need to see that I'm not changing stuff. I don't need to investigate this with my eyes because I'm not doing styling stuff. I'm doing logic. Flip, invert to disable check button. That feels better from a call site. Like that feels the best right there. And maybe that needs to be a view model thing. Maybe it doesn't, but it is definitely more view model-ish to write it this way instead of having a whole bunch of stuff. Now let's go back here. Now we have all these scattered things. Game rounds, current guess. Is that, can we just do that? There we go. Use. This adds view knowledge to a view model layer. If you change this button to a custom control, this name won't be valid anymore. Interesting point. And yet, that's a good counterpoint. We go back here then. It's like, what is the check? Yeah. What is the check button? Hey, Michaela. Duh, duh, duh. Like, why should game know about check button? Hmm. Design is hard. Design is hard. If we can find the right one. Everyone say hello. Yeah, I see what you mean, Eric, about sort of this bleeding in some specific knowledge about the UI into the game when the game doesn't know anything else about a check button except that yeah, I don't know. It's a good counterpoint, but I kind of want to keep following right for now. Let's come back to this and think about naming and so forth. Let's keep exploring our law of Demeter violation. So all we have are tests left. Now I'm not sure, still not sure, is oh, sorry, Marcus. I thought you were talking about the I thought you were talking about something else. Is eligible for validation. Hmm. That expresses the domain idea without letting the UI bleed in. Kind of like it. In which case, I kind of want to flip it back. Let's let's revert that. And I'll double check. Push manually. Great. Now I like it. It shows how much naming is important. How valuable it is that ultimately what we are doing, what we are crafting, is ideas. We are the idea makers. It's what makes one of the things that makes software so much fun. All right, let's do a rename. Is eligible for validation. This was an automated. This is a low risk because it was automated. Rename to is renamed to domain, not UI. For those of you who don't know Mr. Milchick, oh my gosh, you've got to watch Severance. It is worth getting an Apple TV subscription. You do that, don't you? You say, I want to watch a particular show, so I'm going to subscribe for just a little bit. And then when I'm done, if there's another show, I'll watch it, but otherwise I'm going to kill the subscription. Like let's do that more. And oh, Severance is an amazing show. Just really good. Is eligible. Can be validated. Yeah, let's renaming. Can be validated. Yeah, Michaela, I'm planning to go to two of the parties, one of them being yours. Also the one, so hope to see you a couple of times. At least say hi. Let's now see what that looks like. Oh, I like that. Another thing that's really odd about design is you don't know it when it's not there, but you know it when you nail it. It's a funny thing. All right, let's keep going with more violations. Oh, that's it. Oh, now we have dot dots. Again, I'm going to ignore the tests for now. All right, what have we got? That's not really a dot dot. Okay, I need to add a little more. So it is matching. I'll make it bigger over here so you can see, folks can see. So this is anything between A and Z uppercase and A and Z lowercase and more than one occurrence, followed by an escaped dot. So I'm now looking for name dot name dot name. And let's do that. So what do we got? Code choices, options, count. Assert that the secret size, that's an assertion. Well, that's if you, technically it ought to include anything in that can be an identifier. But practically, it's rare to use numbers in method names. Yeah, so I'm cheating. You're absolutely right that a good, to match it with anything in the language, it would be useful, but there's language and there's convention. I'm going to skip this one. How's this? If we're using the null pattern, just return the options. Otherwise, this one I think is clear to leave as it is. Because it shows the difference between the nullable version, which is just like don't shuffle because we want things easy to test, versus the regular version, which is shuffle the secret. Let's move on. And let's ignore those. These are names on besides its tests. Forget the tests. Not sure about that. Here we go. Game code choices. We're starting to hit more things around code choices. Is that right? Yes, we are. Because we got whether or not to shuffle the code choices. Yeah, the view stuff, I'm going to shrug at. But here, and this is a specific thing that I don't want to have necessarily in the code choices, and that's just to reverse the order so that it displays bottom to top. For those of you who don't remember, I'll show you. We are showing the code choices in order from bottom to top. Why? I don't remember. Feels like Law of Demeter would be more suitable for objects. For example, in options count returns a primitive rather than an object which you can mutate. That is possible, and that might be, maybe we've hit the edge. You can certainly take any rule to an extreme, and this might be where we are feeling the extreme, but this seems like it helped as a handy tool to guide us. Let's take a quick look at what's left. And like, is anything calling this? This looks like dead code now. Which leaves current guess and can be validated. And there. Okay, so that seems valuable. Let me move them. No, they're okay where they are. So that looked like it helped. Let's summarize. Regex can help find Law of Demeter violations. If I'm trying to express what you last wrote, Eric, which is basically sort of about over applying. It's a good idea, Michaela. It is law might be overstating things. And I guess that's why people call it the suggestion of Demeter. There is an XKCD with that, isn't there? Count returns a primitive. I'm not sure about when things apply when we're not in an object-oriented when we fall out of object orientation, I think there's still a thing about you can pick your, the way I phrased Demeter, you can pick your friends, you can pick your nose, but you can't pick your friend's nose. That might still be apply even if the last thing in the chain is not an object. But let's go back now. Ta-da! Oh, yes, this is the wrong color. Sorry. Green, which means I think we can call this parallel change done, and that we have basically accomplished many of one. We have turned our one guess into a new concept, the rounds, which has an array. And that leaves us open now to the next step, which is to draw multiple rounds of empty guesses. Let's just make a little more room here. So with multiple guesses, by the way, I'm wondering if rounds belongs somewhere else. Feels like it should move out to its own thing. Let's do that. Using Xcode's fairly recent and wonderful change, I'm just going to paste. Boink. Love it. If it builds, it's good. Yeah, cutting and pasting straight a bunch of code straight into the project navigator is one of the nicer things that they've added to Xcode of late. And that's just to keep game cleaner. So do we need to add all empty guesses from the start or one at a time after each round? The answer is all at once. There they are, all the empty guesses. And you can see the current round has an indicator. So feels like we ought to draw all this. Maybe if we draw all this and play only one round, that would be something. Like that would be the accomplishment. Right now we have that. We don't have a rounded indicator. I feel like I'm going to need a little more room here. Whoops, not Figma. I am not interested in Figma. Wrong. I'm using Miro over here. Figma's at work. So what do we need to do here? We need, what I would like is to reshape how things are rendered before I add a bunch. So show round number. That's one of the things. There's also the current round indicator. It's also in blue, but we'll ignore that for now. Maybe we don't need the current round indicator yet. So this is thinking about the work. Show 10 empty rounds, playing one. I don't know if I need to say that. Anything else? Any other ideas? To show the round number, I'm going to need a little more room. These nice big circles, let's make them smaller. So I'm going to close up the domain side, open up the UI side. Look for code guess view as a frame of 50-50. Now let's bring up, that's not it. There. Now let's bring up the preview. It's funny how little I use the preview. Which is kind of one of the points of this whole exercise. See you, Michaela. Oh, hello. First time chatter, Sneaky Fox Studio. I am excited to buy your book this Friday. Been a mobile engineer for about 7 years now, and one of the things I lack is in testing. Wow, awesome. Thank you. I hope it serves you well. It will not have Swift UI in there, just so you're warned. This is all new, and that's part of why I'm doing this is for us to explore and learn together how this works. So I was saying, you know, I think a lot of people would assume I don't need tests because I can just look at it. Well, you can look at the appearance, and you can run it to do some things, right? Like this. It works. But that's still manual checking. That took several seconds. Right. You'd have to go, that's one. And you'd have to go through and do various types, various rounds. Also, it has, I suppose I could make it null, maybe it is nullable, but we'd have to know, like, what is the secret? Which probably means for playtesting, this is a different thing, but for actual playtesting, doing manual checking, it would be nice to know in advance what the secret is. So it would be nice to have like a little sneak peek, show me the secret. But doing all that in several seconds, and that was a single use case, and then going through again, maybe trying some different things, maybe controlling the secret. There's a world of difference between a second and a microsecond. How many tests can you run? As many as you can in the time that you have. But for styling we want to do with our eyes. So let's change this and see how that works. Trying to make more room. In fact, what? Is that enough space? Might be. I'm going to go ahead and commit this. And the easiest way to do that is by using my script. I suppose I could have done it another way. What sort of change is this? This is an untested styling change. Untested but manually verified. So maybe it is medium risk. and it is a feature change. Reduce size of guest circles. And I do that so that I can show something. No logic changes. Yeah. But it could still mess things up. So if we have all these, I have an H stack, that should mean I can add in here something like there we go. Can probably do a better job of styling. But there's our hard-coded let's go with that. Oh, shoot. Snapshots. Hi, not your average developer. I love the name. At work, we really do not do much testing either, but we should. And the reason to invest in tests is that it will make your life faster, and it not just faster. You sleep better. You feel more confident. Drink. Yeah, let's see about the snapshots. Yes, the snapshots don't include that portion. Show hard-coded round number. All right. Now that was just, there's no test for this. So actually, I'm starting to think that's not, I'm getting ahead of myself. Because right now I want to do refactoring. I want to change that hard-coded number to be flexible, right? But I don't have tests for that, which leads me to call this into question. Let's try it again. We're TDDers. Sorry, man. Let's get revert. That one. I'm also keeping an eye on my time. I know I started a few minutes late, but this feels like we're entering new ground here. We are working on this. We are working on this, and this is behavior we can TDD. So that initial slap down the text, I shouldn't have committed that. I wanted to do that to see, does this, like, will this work? Is this feasible? It is. And so having done that, I should have treated that as a spike and said, delete and now TDD it properly. Are we looping? Not yet. That is another thing to do, isn't it? Thank you for that. What that means is that right now we have our single guest view, and it is used right there. And we'll want many of them, but we should change this to following the many of one pattern to say we want to loop over many of them where our many is just one. So that will be another thing to do next time. All right. Great. Whoops, that is the empty one. Here we go. That's enough for one session. I know it's kind of short, but like I said, these shorter coding rounds are giving me an opportunity to create more crafted YouTube content, which I'm starting to put out there. So thanks for your patience, streamers. We'll see how this goes. I'm not bound to 60 minutes for the rest of my life. Neither are you. We change things as we go. We're engineers. That's what we do. So thanks for joining. And good to have all of you. For folks who are watching after the fact on YouTube, hey, give us a like and do subscribe. All right. Take care, folks. Have a good week. I'll see you next time. All right. Take care.